the best medicine. For one cancer survivor, a sense of humor is really what got him through life. And here to tell us how he beat the odds is Donald Wyant. Good morning, Donald.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, you know, you were here yesterday on the Sunday show. We're continuing our conversation with you. And you really inspired a lot of people who are going through a tough time when it comes to cancer, whether it's family members or the patient themselves. And you do say that humor is the best medicine.
It worked for me. I heard a story a long time ago about this man that was dying in the hospital, so he had all his friends come and visit him, and they started telling jokes, and they started laughing, and the next thing you know, he's out of the hospital home. He kept his friends around, and he laughed himself well. So that's somehow a story stuck with me, and when my time came, that's what I did.
Yes, we mentioned yesterday that you're 69 years old. Sorry about that. But, I mean, look at you. You got a great sense of humor, a great attitude about everything. And back in 2002, that was when you were first diagnosed, when you first heard the news, right?
I was shaving the night of April 16th after I paid my taxes, and I felt a little lump in my neck. And I just know about lumps and moles. You get them checked out. So I was first in line at the doctor's office the next morning, and they got me right in. And the doctor came out, and she looked at me and said, "Don, where's that lump?" I said, "Right here." And she smiled and felt it, and the look came over her face. And she suggested I see another doctor that afternoon, which I did. And he talked to me, and he took a needle biopsy, and he says, "Come in my office." And I went in, and he said, "I want you to go to the hospital tomorrow, and we're going to do another biopsy. We need to get that done." I said, "Well, what do I tell my wife when I go home tonight?" And he whips out his business card, and I still have it home. "Lung cancer, I don't think so. Brain cancer, I don't think so. Cat scratch fever, no way. You got some kind of lymphoma cancer." And I was just, my life came to an end, and I went down to my car and I cried. And driving home, I cried again, and my wife and I cried all night. And then we went through a bunch of tests, and it was confirmed that I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then my wife came up with the idea that this is a gift from God, and we're going to get a lot of blessings from it. And I said, yes. And so every morning I wake up and say, "Thank you, God, for the gift of kids."
And that's Denise right there, by your side the whole time. By your side the whole time. Very supportive.
She was my rock. Anyway, I just said every morning, "Thank you, God, for the gift of cancer," and it has been nothing but a blessing. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Yeah. You know, when a lot of people would see cancer as the end-all, you saw it as a challenge, and you took it on. You took it on.
Well, I had a little advantage. I played football in high school, and you learn a lot of lessons in life from playing football. And then I was also in the Army, and you learn a lot of lessons. So I had good training to handle this when the time came.
Speaking of training, well, let's talk about this, because we see a picture of you in a tuxedo. Now, this is not just any ordinary occasion. Tell us why you would dress up in a tux.
One day I went to chemo. I wanted to be different, so I put my tux on. I went walking in there, and everybody looked at me, and the doctor saw me and smiled, and that was worth $1 million to me. That doctor just works and works and works, and he just smiled so big. And I took my coat off and put the needles in me and all that business, and I got a lot of smiles that day, so I made everybody happy.
Yes, and your doctors were saying, "My goodness, you know, it's almost as if it was a miracle this happened, that here you are with this great sense of humor and this attitude, and here you are today, and it's been able to carry you through." And also, you participated in team and training in a bike ride. Tell us about that.
Well, after I went through my chemo, I joined a support group to share my news with other people that were going through what I went through. And they asked me to be in the team and training as a rah-rah guy. And I said, "Oh, sure, I'll do that." And then when it got down to the day that they started training for the ride, I got the itch, and I went in my barn and I pulled out this old Huffy bike that I bought for $10, and I went out there and had my bike shorts on. I said, "I'm riding a bike," and I hadn't ridden a bike 20 miles in my life. And my wife was behind me in her bike, and somehow we got through it. When I got to the end, I was so tired I just fell down because I couldn't lift my legs up. Anyway, they got me. They loaned me a bike, and 4 months later, I rode 100 miles up to Tahoe.
Wow. Yes. And this is the bike right here from your doctor, is that right?
After the ride at Tahoe, I had to return my bike, so I had no bike to ride, and the doctor asked me if I was still riding, and I said, "No, sir, I just, with my medical bills, I just can't justify spending $3,000 for a new bike." So he gave me his personal bike.
Wow. Well, we're not finished. finish with Donald, so we're going to talk more with him in a couple minutes. So you stick around, and you stick around too, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.